Your attention, please. All right, intermission's over. We will start soon. Let me apologize for the close quarters here. As I was saying before, you were all in the room. Our last special town meeting, we approved a $990,000 sewer project with 2 people in the room. And I would have thought that that would have been at least as exciting as what we're doing tonight. Apparently, folks disagree. But if you would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance as I call the special town meeting to order. And David, we're going to start the recording. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Town Clerk Lisa Bird to please read the call of the meeting.
I'm going to ask that you all silence your cell phones at the same time. Thank you. Warning, notice of special Board of Selectmen. Matthew S. Knickerbocker, First Selectman. Richard C. Straighten, Selectman. Paul R. Zetkowski, Selectman. So moved.
All right, okay, I was just going to call for a motion to accept the call. Was that Alice? Yep. Okay, motion by Alice, second by Rob Palmer. Is there any discussion about the motion? Any discussion here and then? I'll try your minds. On the motion to accept the call, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. I would now like to move on to the election of a moderator. Matt Knickerbocker. Right. Matt Knickerbocker is moderator, seconded by Brian Colts. Are there any other volunteers? Are there any other draftees? Hearing none. Those in favor of Matt Knickerbocker moderator, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate your confidence. I would now like to ask Town Council Attorney Waller to read the resolution. The motion.
No.
The town council will approve the resolution by the board of selectmen and by the board of finance that the town council approves vacant real property known and located at 47 Shelley Road, Bethel, Connecticut, consisting of a total of 7.86 acres for a sum not to exceed $500,000 from Timothy Draper for the use as open space. $200,000 for said purchase shall come from the planning and zoning open space fund, and the balance of $300,000 to purchase said real property shall come from the fund balance of the general fund as recommended and approved by the board of finance. Said funding shall be reduced by any grants that the town may have or may receive in the future for the purchase of this real property for use as open space.
Thank you. Thank you. May I hear a second to the motion? From John Menti, second by John Menti. The floor will be open for comments in just a moment. I will apologize. We have no extra microphones tonight. We can locate them. So you'll just have to use your best stage voice.
No, we do have a microphone.
Oh, you do have a microphone?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. It's up to you. If you would like to speak from where you stand, or if you'd like to come up here and use your microphone to your call. But before I open the floor, I would like to ask Town Planner Beth Kabagda to give a brief overview of the project and the opportunity. Beth?
Can you hear me? Okay. Just very briefly, I'm Beth Kabagda. I'm the Director of Planning for the town of Bethel. I also live on Plum Trees Road in Bethel, and my family has resided here for 5 generations. I just say that so all of you know where I'm coming from. I want to thank Matt and thank you all for being here tonight. I'd like to give you a brief synopsis of how we have gotten here. In December of 2020, the Planning and Zoning Commission denied 2 affordable housing applications by Tim Draper, the property owner of 9 Good Hill Road and 47 Shelley Road. The property owner appealed the 9 Good Hill Road decision to the Superior Court and submitted a modification plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission for 47 Shelley Road. The Planning and Zoning Commission had discussions with their land use council and staff in regard to the litigation and proposed the settlement to the property owner. Negotiations ensued. The result was a reduction of units at 9 Good Hill Road. A public hearing was held, and the good neighbors of Good Hill Road, how appropriately named is that road, were notified and participated in reviewing the agreement. The Planning and Zoning Commission approved this part of the settlement. The second part of the agreement was the purchase of Shelley Road property for open space. Many of you were in the room almost 10 years ago when we as a town agreed to purchase the front property. Over the last 10 years, stewardship of the Bethel Land Trust, working with the Park and Recreation Department, has developed an oasis of trails, habitat, and educational components that normally would have taken 20 years to develop. All of this for our future generations. You cannot put a price tag on the value of preserved land. It is the one guarantee we have to know that our grandchildren will walk where we once did and enjoy the beauty of the nature. In closing, on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission, I would like to thank the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance for giving us the opportunity to present this to the town meeting for consideration of purchase as open space, which will complete the settlement agreement with the property owner. At this point, Matt, I'm just going to interfere a little bit. I'd like to turn my mic over to Lou Valenti, who is celebrating his 36th wedding anniversary today and anxiously having his wife wait here. Also, I believe the president of the Bethel Land Trust.
Do I know how to celebrate an anniversary? My name's Lou Valenti. I live at 4 Hoyt Road, and I'm also president of the Bethel Land Trust. And I'm here on behalf of the Bethel Land Trust Board to enthusiastically endorse the motion to purchase this property. The Bethel Land Trust is committed to preserving as much of the open space and the natural character of our town as possible. And in fact, we think we have some exciting developments that we'll be sharing with you all very soon towards that end. But we also maintain trails. And with, as Beth mentioned, with the Bruno Preserve, we've developed that property for trails. We're trying to deal with invasive species. We have educational groups that use that. We also do the trails behind the educational park, the boardwalk trail that goes from Bennett to Walnut Hill Road, and we have our own preserves, most notably Wolf Pit that we maintain. But we're here tonight just for this property, and I can just show you, this is the Bruno Preserve now, and over here is the Bruno Preserve, which is similar size. I think there's a 2-acre difference. So it really is a nice 148-acre biome, which is really important. In conservation today, you're gonna hear people talk about biodiversity. And so in order to have biodiversity, you need these big tracts of land, these bigger tracts of land. So unfortunately, not all tracts of land are equal in terms of their conservation value. This is the property in question right here, this yellow piece of property right here. You can see it's right up against the Bruno Preserve. And the reason why this is so important, there's several reasons. One, it's a very nice piece of property in and of itself. It's pretty. It's got very mature woodlands, which actually extend from here and go and a swath through Bruno, which are the most mature trees in the entire biome. And it's got stone walls, and there's like a really neat like gulch that runs through there. But really, the reason why this is so important is the main trail that was created by the Franks a million years ago runs right along this property, and that links the 2 preserves. If this is developed, obviously that's going to impact the use and enjoyment of the Bruno Preserve. And secondly, if we add this property to the front preserve, not only will we be protecting the existing preserve, but we're also protecting, again, this swath of mature forest, and it's going to enable us to run another trail through this property and into the Bruno Preserve. I don't know if you've been up to the front preserve, but particularly during COVID, it gets really crowded sometimes. So that'll be helpful. But it's a great piece of property. It really would be wonderful for the users of the front, but it also, again, supports what we're looking to do, and that is to try to create and preserve these larger oases, if you will, of open space for biodiversity. And listen, I appreciate it. It's awesome. This says so much about the town that so many of you came out on this balmy night. And you know, the fact that sooner we can vote on this, which I'm optimistic is going to be positive, the sooner we can all go home. It has nothing to do with my anniversary. But thank you all. Thank you all for being there. If anybody's interested in the Bethel Land Trust and getting involved in any way, we have a clipboard up here. You can put some contact information. You can also find out more about us by just Googling Bethel Land Trust and going on our website. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lou. I have to say, I have been to, rarely been to a town meeting that's entertaining. Thank you, happy anniversary. So the floor is open for comments. Again, you can either speak where you stand or sit, or if you'd like to come up and use the microphone. We would just ask that you give your, shout out your name and address very clearly for the record, so we have it. And I would like to entertain any comments or questions that the audience may have at this time. Yes.
Elizabeth Levy, Backpage Drive. I just want to say that the value of natural space cannot be underestimated, not just for the planet's health, but human health. I also just want to take this opportunity to say that the level of housing development in this town is becoming I feel like it's starting to impact our quality of life and the traffic patterns, the congestion as a result of the level of housing development is becoming dangerous. And I just didn't want that to be left out of this equation, because I'm sure that there will be other applications for housing development in this town. And so I just wanted to mention that it's really like impacting quality of life in the town of Bethel on a daily basis and our health and safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Speak up. Motion to move the question has been made and seconded, and as you know, if you're experienced in these, this is non-debatable. So we will proceed immediately to a vote. I detect that there's some people who want to get home. So we are going to vote now to close discussion. So we're not voting on the main motion. I want to make sure we're all clear on that. This is a motion to end debate and then move to the main motion. So those in favor of doing so, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? And hearing none, that motion carries. So we will now vote on the main motion to purchase this property. It has been properly seconded. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries.